Hi, my name is Mike, and I'll be taking you through what we consider a high-level overview of our product and platform. In the interest of your time, I will be going through this at a brisk pace. However, you will receive a copy of this webinar sent to your email. In this webinar, I'll be going over our history and how we've developed our panel system. We'll give you a visual step-by-step overview of how the system works and how they're installed. We'll discuss our material systems and how processes and techniques for making structures like water features with boulders, outdoor kitchens, countertops, and fire features. We also want to make sure we get all your questions answered to make your time with us as productive as possible. Then at the end of the webinar, you'll be able to determine if this is something you want to take the next step in our structured process. ClifRock's mission is to design, manufacture, and support our material solutions. We feel we've made things a bit easier for contractors with our panel masonry systems. We'll talk about how we pioneered the panel masonry evolution and, of course, our best practices. This will lead us to the final section, which discusses our premium network of installers that we're building throughout the United States and Southern Canada. Outdoor living continues to drive the market for all home improvements. Outdoor living has become a standard amenity. As you can see from the graph in the lower left-hand corner, the market for outdoor kitchens is predicted to continue to grow through 2030. Now, if you ask someone in the 70s or 80s if they had any backyard living or entertainment, I think they'd probably talk to you about a picnic table and maybe a grill. Today, when you're talking about outdoor living and backyard living, you're looking at a lot more. This is why we're so passionate about the industry. It's because outdoor living fills some really basic human needs. Everybody needs time to unwind and to be outside and enjoy family and friends. Now, labor is the biggest challenge we see all across segments of home improvement and the trades. The availability of qualified labor has gotten much smaller. You've got an aging, skilled labor force. You've got millennials that prefer a tech job. So for trade jobs, guys are getting top dollar because they know there is such a big demand. Now, as far as business demands, owners are stretched and busy. We talk to contractors, and the first thing we hear is, "Oh man, I'm so busy. I don't have any time." And I'm happy when people tell me that, but I always ask them, "Are you profitable?" Because you can be busy and work 80 hours a week, but how much money did you actually make, or how much money stayed in the bank? So for us, we've created the panel masonry system, and are looking to bring companies into our network who are looking to become more efficient, make better margins, and differentiate themselves in the marketplace. About ClifRock, we're a division of Concrete Developments. We're headquartered in southern New Hampshire, which is about an hour north of Boston. We have business operations throughout the United States, in California, Kansas City, and Pennsylvania. We are a hardscape buildings material solution manufacturer. We developed and continue to manufacture products that can be used to build modular panel masonry systems, such as outdoor kitchens, countertops, water features, boulder construction, and fire features. It's a retail operation here in New Hampshire since 2015. We really try to keep our finger on the pulse of the market by testing products and processes, not only from a sales and marketing standpoint, but also on installations before we roll it out to the network, because we really want to make sure that it works. Right now, outside the Sunbelt states, we are the largest residential water feature builder and one of the fastest growing kitchen builders in the United States. We've been featured on a lot of different shows, HDTV and the DIY Network. We've been on several episodes of Pool Kings, Turf Wars, and Yard Crashers, and have been featured in magazines such as Hearth and Home, Landscape Manager, and Turf Magazine for 2 years in a row. We've had a lot of publicity, and we have been recognized for advances in concrete technology. But first, I'd like to mention TCC. They are our bagging plant for our panel mix called ClifRock. TCC is also the third largest bagging plant in the country, with locations throughout the United States. And as far as our system is concerned, it's pretty simple. We have a bag mix that you add 11 pints of water and mix for a solid 3 minutes. Very simple. And we use a material to build outdoor structures. We have many outdoor boulder and masonry mold profiles, which I'll show you later, of course. So really 2 different types of molds depending on what it is we're trying to do here. Our boulder molds are going to be used to make your boulder structures and water features, while our masonry molds are used for a lot of different things like kitchens, fire features, sitting walls, veneer applications, and much more. Here we see our flagship product, ClifRock. It's a hydraulic cement mortar. It has very fine microfibers that give the mix a lot of different properties. Number one, its flexural strength and the ability to reach high ductility and tensile strengths, as well as impressive compressive strengths. As you can see here, our mix behaves a little bit differently than typical types of concrete you may have worked with in the past. It's very adhesive and it'll bond to itself. So it's going to be double the compressive strength, triple the flexural strength, 5 times the tensile strength with extreme ductility, as you can see right here. Our material has gone through extreme freeze-thaw cycles, which is important for us, seeing that we're here in New Hampshire, where the temperatures can get pretty extreme. Basic construction systems. One of the first things you'll do with us by coming to training is to learn boulder symmetry and boulder geometry. First, we're going to hang our panels, seam the boulders together and color them, and then finish them off and make them look like this, which is very realistic, don't you think? Now we're going to go over our 3-step installation process, which only requires basic construction skills, which means you don't need someone who's a 10 or 15-year stonemason to do it. The first application the panel system was for creating boulders and water features. We knew we needed to create a system that any contractor can learn how to do and install. And I like this picture here because this water feature that bridges the span of the pool was not accounted for. They were able to build the water feature after the pool was built because there was no additional footing needed to support, because we're talking 1/2-inch thick panels that's significantly less weight. And as far as our mold profiles, we went across the country taking impressions off large stone rocks and cliffs. And we made a mold system out of these profiles that represent the aesthetics of real stone. The aesthetics of the panel happen in the mold process. I'll walk you quickly through how we make a water feature or rock feature with us. Again, 3-step method. First, we add 11 pints of water to a 55-gallon drum that has been cut in half. Next, we add a 50-pound bag of mix and mix for a solid 3 minutes, then pour it into the mold. You can see how we curved some of them to form the boulders. Next, we're going to hang them. As we talked about, you're going to seam them together to form the boulder, just piecing these panels together until you have the seams that are pretty tight. And then we take the exact same mix and we patch those seams together. The mix is designed to mechanically and chemically bond the panels together. So when the panels have cured, you have one monolithic structure with no point of weakness in the joints. You're going to also learn some plumbing installation at the training as well. And then you're going to color and seal them. We use pump sprayers for our coloring system for boulders. It's a 3-step coloring system that takes minutes. This is obviously an oversimplification, but it's relatively simple to build. Landscape water features are probably our biggest application of our boulder system. Plus, if you're doing a water feature and you have limited or no access to the backyard, meaning no cranes or heavy equipment, our boulder system is a perfect way to give the homeowner a big, beautiful water feature. The water feature in the upper right was done at a wildlife exhibit in Florida. Here, we're seeing a lot more modern water features, more of a clean look. These features were done using our masonry panels. Next, we have caves and grottos, which are growing more and more popular. Our installers are invited to come to advanced training at no other cost other than travel expense to learn how to install these types of features. We have some diving rocks. Then we have pool water features here. And these are pool slides that are made from our proprietary mixed stone rock. Next, we have grotto lids. And this is something that if you've ever done a grotto lid, you know exactly how hard it is to source the stone. Landscape and water features, sometimes it can be difficult to determine what's our boulders and what's nature's boulders. Okay, we have some more water feature projects. Our system is used on many commercial jobs. Now, this was a rest stop right up in 93 in New Hampshire. This was completed with 6 men in 6 days, start to finish. The structure is dependent on the strength of the panels patched together. It's pretty incredible what these guys were able to do. And in an inside environment like that, you really couldn't use natural stone. Water parks, I think you get the point. Sky's the limit. Paneled versus natural boulders. I'm sure you look at these pictures and think probably 2 or 3 things you really don't want to happen. One of the straps goes, you might have some problems. Footing requirements are very high. Sourcing boulders, depending on what region of the country you're in, you might even have to source those out of state. And if you don't have the right footing in a freeze-thaw climate, these will start to degrade over time. And so with ClifRock, you don't need to source a material. You make the material. It's lightweight, and you can build that same boulder in a matter of 2 or 3 hours, and it weighs between 400 and 500 pounds, whereas that boulder that you're looking at there probably weighs about 3 tons. So it's easy to retrofit around pools, and it gives the contractor the ability to tackle projects that others may not. Project economics. And so this is just a quick example of water feature with a slide, steps running up the back with a little cave overhang on the front. And again, don't worry, we're going to send you the presentation, do it later. But in terms of materials and labor to build that structure, you're talking about $9K. In terms of what we sell that for, I would say somewhere in the low to mid 20s, depending on your market. And in terms of profitability, you can make 60 to 7% margins easy on this type of work. That's about a 3-day project for us with a 4-man crew. A bag of stone rock panel mix costs somewhere between $40.57 and $48.88 a bag, depending on how much product you order at a given time. $49 is if you're ordering a single pallet. One bag will allow you to cast about 8 to 9 square feet of boulder panel, so your all-in cost is about $8 to $9 per square foot, which is a pretty safe number. And so that was the first application with our panel system. Next, we turned our attention to the vertical outdoor masonry market, because what we saw there was a lot of room for improvement. Pretty clear data tells us that people like block for their paver patios. But once you go vertical, they want that integrated with some type of stone or a different aesthetic. But the problem with traditional masonry is you need someone with a certain skill set. And so our masonry panel technology was born. Concepts have changed, but the foundation still remains the same. Conventional masonry, like outdoor kitchens and fire features, come with challenges: poured footings, freeze-thaw concerns, and retrofits, just to name a few. It's also time-consuming, which raises material and labor costs, which can price many homeowners out of the market. The difference between the boulder system and masonry system is we went from 1/2 inch thick panels to about 1.5 inch thick panels, where the stone veneer was precast into the face. Again, no masonry skill set. And the panel itself, because of all the strength properties, was structural. And so what that meant was when you're going from 6-inch thick block down to 1.5 inch of material, you're using less overall material, less weight, which means you can install it over any existing hard surface, again, without a poured footing. The other piece of this is once it cures, it becomes one monolithic structure. And here's the kicker. We reduced it to a 3-step process where the panels are supported, meaning no frame or substrate, and can be installed in little as a day without masonry labor. Next, we're going to focus our attention on outdoor kitchens and fire features. The outdoor kitchen market is big, and it's getting bigger, and it's becoming a standard amenity in new construction. It's the fastest growing area of home improvement at the moment, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This Forbes magazine's article states that since the coronavirus, outdoor kitchens are the #1 project that homeowners are investing in. Again, back to our 3-step installation system. You're making your panels the exact same way. Here we have a 10-foot masonry mold. You can make a 10-foot panel, or you can back off the length and make a shorter panel. Pour your mix into the mold, let it cure, and then demold. Now you have a panel which can be transported to the job site and hand carried into the backyard. By the way, they can also be made on site. Once we're in the backyard, we're going to set up the panels. When you're setting your panels, abutting the 2 panels together, we take a 5/32 masonry bit, drill right through both of them, insert deck screws to give it a temporary hold, and then we take the panel mix and we mortar the corners together on the outside and the inside. And then you got your structure. You learn how to blend the corners to get a continued stone pattern at the training. Now you're going to add your appliances and countertops. Then you're going to color and seal. Next, I want to show you all the different rock profiles we offer demonstrating our countertops. First, we have ledge stack. And as you can see, this is right on tiles, right on pavers. Different size kitchens. Here we have L-shaped and a U-shape, and the upper right-hand kitchen is on a deck. Next, we have random rock, which is a very popular pattern here in New England. The kitchen in the middle is a large L-shape with a Kamado stand and a raised bar in the back, up on a 10-foot high composite deck. Again, how would you build that with traditional masonry methods? Next, we have a dry stack. As you can see, no mortar joints with a dry stack. Kind of nice. Again, right on pavers and decking. Here we have a cut stone or ashlar pattern. Here we have brick. Next is barnwood and cobblestone. So as you can see, we offer just about any profile your customer may want. Which brings us to the countertops. Traditional masonry means we are relying on many different people to complete a job. Why wait for a granite contractor to measure, cut, and then deliver a countertop when you can cast your own? With our projects on our platform, you can control all aspects of the install, and countertops are definitely one of them. This is a nice countertop we did in Amherst, New Hampshire. It's a 14-foot run. You're going to do that with granite. Again, these are the kind of challenges that you have there. Plus, the material dissipates the heat and it's repairable. If you're using granite outdoors, if the seal goes or if it's damaged in any way, you're most likely going to have to replace it. And with our stuff, the installer could come with a bag of panel mix, a wet sander, and some water and make it look like it never happened. So again, all of our construction methods have a 3-step process. First, we frame out our template for our countertops on a melamine board. We don't have molds for countertops because we're always doing custom countertops. We also use PVC trim for the edges. The styrofoam cutout as a place to create a void for the grill to go in. Next, you're going to do the mix. Same idea with the mix, 11 pints of water per 50-pound bag. But for countertops, we're going to add the powdered integral dye right to the mix so the color is all the way through, something that we also talk about in training. Next, you're going to pour the panel mix into your template. There's the foam board cut out for our grill. We're also using fiberglass reinforced scrim or composite rebar. We feel this gives us a little bit more flexural strength and a little bit more overall strength in our countertops. We do not use any steel at all. No steel mesh, no steel rebar. So our method for using scrim, after we pour an inch of the mix, we're going to lay the scrim down and do another inch over that. Let it cure and demold. Countertops are typically between 1.5 and 2 inches thick. Polish and seal. Here's a 14-foot run with our slate look, which is very popular here in New England. Next, we have some examples of solid countertops, black, brown, dove gray, and now we offer a white countertop mix. Some installers choose to do a smooth edges. Some others prefer a more beveled or rock edge. If you've been to some of the decorative concrete shows, I'm sure you saw that you can get pretty exotic different types of finishes. Here we're using different integral colors to create a custom countertop. The applications vary depending on the look your customer desires. Here we have some more examples of custom countertops. Don't they look great? Compared to granite, our product dissipates heat much more efficiently along with more ductility and flexural strength. In terms of pricing for granite, you're going to be in the low 40s per square foot, while we're going to be between $12 and $14 per square foot. Of course, that depends on your labor. As a manufacturer, the truckload price would be about $40 a bag. If you're buying it by the pallet, you'll be at about $49. You're going to get 5 to 8 surface square feet area per 50-pound bag for a masonry mold. Your all-in cost will be between $9.50 and $11.50 per square foot. The reason for the range is, with the panels like the barnwood or the dry stack, you're going to be 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch thick rock profiles like the random rock, ledge stack, and cut stone. You're going to be closer to 5 surface square feet per bag because those panels are going to be thicker. For countertops, the range for your all-in material and labor should be between $12 to $14. But I think you're going to get an idea for the margins that we're going to be able to make here. Now, in terms of advantages of the install, one of the ways that we really were able to separate ourselves from the competition here in New England is definitely the speed of the install. Let's take this 7-foot grilling island. Again, we're typically able to install these structures in one day, something that is typically unheard of in the masonry and hardscape industry. We're able to accomplish. So in an instant gratification society, as you can imagine, that gives us a leg up on our competition. If you're doing something a little bit bigger, this 16-foot 8x8 L shape might take you a couple of days, right? But I think you get the idea. It's going to be typically going to be a 1 to 2 day install. We're turning the job faster and we're able to do multiple jobs at the same time. So our margins are going to be significantly higher than using traditional methods. As far as economics, I'll focus on the 7-foot island. It'll cost you to install anywhere from $175 to $200 a linear foot to build this island without shipping. This does not include any appliances. You really don't want to price in your appliances for your grilling stations. You definitely want to add that later. But as you can see, your cost of goods sold to build a 7-foot island should be around $1,600. Meanwhile, your competitors are getting $800 to $1,000 a linear foot for a full rock install. So we price our kitchens accordingly. I mean, we do undercut them a little bit, but not to the point you might expect. So to build a 16-foot 8x8 L shape will cost you about $2,500, including material and labor. Again, we're adding the appliances on top of that. So even if you're pricing your kitchens pretty aggressively at $600 a linear foot, and in your mind, and in our mind, it's going to be a pretty aggressive pricing point, you're still making well over 73% margins. If you're pricing these kitchens for what we would price them out, again, that $800 per linear foot, you're at $12,800 and your margins are closer to 80%. So common sense tells us that a heck of a lot less material and labor is going to give us greater pricing flexibility, more competitive price points to the customer, and higher profit margins to the installer. Some other applications with our panel mix. We have interior walls, indoor fire features, countertops. Our panel mix is also great for commercial projects. Here we have a kitchen installed at a college in New York with dry stack, and also this luxury apartment complex, Avalon Properties. There's an outdoor grilling area for their renters. Next, we have foundation, wrapping and skirting. We have seating walls, covering and veneering over existing steps. So we've created a modern panel masonry system that allows us to build the fire features the same way we're building the outdoor kitchens. It's panel on panel, same idea. We're also using our material for the caps. The only thing you're not going to use armor steel for is the insert. You're going to use refractory panels or fire-rated brick. But for the most part, as you can see, 99% of this fireplace is built with our material and our panels, other than the copper chimney shroud, of course. This solves 4 major challenges. We can get a custom stone look without masonry skill. Our masonry panels are the substrate, and we can retrofit almost any type of insert, whether it's gas, propane, or natural wood. We have all of them. We're going to go through that in a minute. When would you think about doing a fireplace on a deck? There'd be some obvious challenges there that limit design with regard to size, height, and shape. Square fire pits. We took our 10-foot mold, scored every 2.5 feet, and when we demold the panel, we took our diamond tip grinders, cut the scored lines, and now the corners match up perfectly. Then we seamed the corners with a panel mix and created a countertop in less than a day. Here we have some examples of fire pits. Next, linear and rectangular fire pits. These are great conversation areas. You can pull up a chair and sit around and enjoy the ambiance. Here we have Olympia, who has created this custom wood-burning fireplace insert exclusively for ClifRock installers. If you are doing something really tall, the stack will actually go up to 22 feet, and it's adjustable, and there's your copper chimney shrouds. Here are some examples of some wood fireplaces. Our fire feature supply partners are HPC and Olympia, which brings us to our supply solutions. Customers told us they would much rather work with a contractor that could provide all aspects of the install, a one-stop shop, if you will. They told us the last thing they wanted to do with their spare time in their evenings was look for grills, appliances, or inserts for their projects. So similar to a buyer's group, and because of our vast network of installers, we've been able to negotiate wholesale pricing, free or reduced shipping, and in some cases, lifetime warranties for many of our solutions. Again, things you can take advantage of or not, totally up to you. We feel that providing what your customers want and earning revenue in the process is a pretty good deal for everyone. This brings us to the last section of the webinar. As you can see, our products aren't hard to install, and it's a lot easier than doing the traditional old-fashioned way. We do not sell our product to any retail outlets, supply channels, or distributors. We only sell our product to our authorized installers, so it's a closed channel network. This means that if you're always guaranteed the best price by working directly with the manufacturer. There is no middleman. You buy directly from us. We ship you directly from one of our bagging plants. We have over 450 installers right now, and we're growing. That said, we're selective on who we work with, and we're looking for companies that are committed to business development and differentiating themselves in the marketplace. We're looking for companies that want to take advantage of our programs and our strategic partnerships, like the supply partners, for example, and take advantage of our training and ongoing support. Next, I'm going to talk about our installer program and what's included. First, we have a 3-day hands-on training. We start our trainings with what we call Panel Masonry 101. How to mix the panel mix properly. What are the proper ratios? How different temperatures affect the mix? What are the best ways to work with the mix? How to fill and demold the mold? How to get the molds to do different things that you need them to do, such as curves and shapes, heights and lengths, as all of our molds are flexible and adaptable. After you build a boulder with your team, we will focus on a small or medium-sized functioning water feature. After we finish that, we get into kitchen training, where we go through how to build an outdoor kitchen from the very beginning stages to the end, seaming corners, coloring, cutouts for your appliances, the grill inserts, and of course, countertops. As you can see, we keep you pretty busy for those 3 days. The idea, of course, is that when you finish, and you have the confidence and the know-how to get back to your area and do some installs. And we have a whole support team that will be available to you. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here, because we're not just a manufacturer. We sell and install this product ourselves. So we're able to take the guesswork out of this. We can help you integrate this tastefully as a bolt-on complementary service to your already successful business. Once you've gone through training, we have an open door policy whereby all future trainings are available to you and your employees at no additional cost for the training itself. We have very strong infrastructure programs, different marketing systems and tools. When you get back home, that's when our work really begins, because now we need to build out your infrastructure for sales and marketing, as it's a sales-driven business. We have several different types of programs. First and foremost, we have online and offline marketing programs. So as far as offline marketing programs, we have very strong tangible collateral. As you can see, brochures, marketing pieces, idea books, books of design, photo albums, everything you possibly imagine you would need for the residential, commercial, and builders market. We also have pop-up banners and poster boards for any event or home show. Our books of design is a series of design tools that we put together for one of our installers that was going to do a presentation with Tool Brothers, which is one of the country's biggest home builders. And when we put this together for them, we realized that this might be something that all of our installers want to use. So again, different configurations, lengths, shapes, appliance packages. I can tell you that home builders are always looking for add-ons to upsell their home buyers. All of the marketing collateral you see here can be customized with your company name, logo, your phone numbers, your email address, and your brand. Our trademark logos and brands like ClifRock are free to use or not to use, totally up to you. Once a company becomes trained, you get access to our Google Marketing Drive that has PowerPoint presentations, webinar series, in-home presentations, high-resolution pictures, home show event material, just to name a few. And they can be uploaded directly to your iPad or laptop. Our project estimator tool is a great way to portray professionalism and organization. Our installers use this all the time, whether they're doing a home show or in-home presentation. It's a great way to get your pricing and your estimates together pretty quickly. Again, we are a one-source solution, which also includes our strategic supply partners. Digital marketing is obviously very important in today's market. We build a 4-page microsite for you and your company. So when customers are in your area looking for exterior home amenities, like outdoor kitchens, fire and water features, your company is going to pop up, and it's a way for them to fill out a quote sheet. The microsite is something that you can use standalone or in conjunction with your existing website. It's just another tool to help you make it easier for people to find you online. You're also going to have access to our ClifRock app, which puts all of our marketing tools in the palm of your hand. Our online learning center has preloaded video training modules, and it's a great way to delve into the product prior to coming to the hands-on training. See the ways that we're doing our applications and our installs. The videos get you into really fine detail, which can make your hands-on training experience so much more productive. This is also a great way to get all of your crew trained, not just the ones that are coming to training. We know that many of our installers have been struggling with lack of labor. With this in mind, we developed the CMK, ClifRock Modular Kits. At 8 feet long, these kitchens offer plenty of counter space for food prep and serving. We offer a variety of colors and designs. Built with our high-performance concrete construction, ClifRock modular kitchens can be assembled in 2 hours. Our modular kitchens simplify the installation process with little to no disruption to the homeowner's yard and virtually no cleanup necessary. And they are made using our interlocking panel and bracketing system. Once trained to become an authorized installer, you and your company can come out to any advanced trainings that we offer, such as formless retaining walls, grottos, and slides. I know I just went through a lot of material, but just to recap, our installer program includes in-depth training, lifelong training including advanced installations, product and business support, including technical support and estimation assistance, marketing and sales infrastructure, a marketing drive and webinar series, online training modules, and so much more.
Becoming an authorized ClifRock installer is just $19.95 per company. That one-time investment gives you full access to our trainings, marketing tools, microsites, and installer resources. If you're interested in taking the next step, reach out to your installer advisor. They'll walk you through the process, answer any questions, and help you get started with everything you need to succeed.